Hi guys, welcome to the last module 10 of the series, testing documents. So testing is not just clicking around an app, it is a documented professional discipline. And in this module, we'll focus on two most important documents that you'll work with, the test plan and the test case. So these documents are your deliverables, the tangible proof of your work. So we have touched on them back in the testing lifecycle module. Now we go into the actual structure and format that you'll use on the job and be asked about in interviews. Remember from module 3, the STLC, these were two of the four key deliverables. Today we'll see exactly what goes inside them. So test plan and test case, they operate at different levels. Test plan is the strategic blueprint, a high level document that governs the entire testing effort, scope, approach, resources, schedule and risk. One test plan will cover whole project or release, and it is written by the test lead or the test manager. Test case, on the other hand, is a tactical instruction. It's a detailed step-by-step document for testing a specific thing. A single project might have hundreds or thousands of test cases. They're all written by the testers. So the test plan, it sets the strategy, and the test cases are the individual executions that carry out that strategy. Plan is the game plan and test cases are the individual plays. Now, let us look at the content of the test plan. So, a test plan can be long, but 5 sections, they form its backbone. These map to the IEEE 829 standard, but every company, they use its own template built on these. So, the scope is the single most important section. What will be tested and crucially what will not be, what is out of scope. Defining the out of scope prevents any misunderstandings that might come up later. Objectives. This is what we are trying to achieve, the quality goals. For example, verifying all the payment flows, that they're working across the supported browsers. So that's objectives or goals. Then is the schedule. So the timelines and the milestone, they're aligned with the dev plan. When does test execution start? What is the deadline? What are the checkpoints? That is what we try to put up in the schedule. Then is resources. Who and what we need. The team members, what roles would be there, the tools and the test environments that that we would require. Everything from software to hardware to the manpower is under the resources. Then other risks. What could derail testing? Late code delivery, unavailable environment, resource gaps, and how will we mitigate each of these? Thinking about the risk upfront marks a mature tester. You should be able to list the key sections of a test plan, like the scope, objectives, schedule, resources, and risks. And it's a solid core answer. You can also add the entry or the exit criteria that we have discussed earlier and the test approach to show the understanding that you have of the entire testing process. Now, here you can see a standard test case format. It has a real example verifying login. So every test case follows a similar structure. So first is the test case ID. It can be TC001 or maybe some requirement like login underscore 001. So that's a unique identifier so that you can reference and track it. Teams use conventions like TC underscore login underscore 001. The title could be login verification, a clear descriptive name of what this test case is. There are the preconditions. The user is registered. This is something that must already be true before you actually start. Without a registered user, you cannot test login. So that's what you write in precondition. Then are the steps. So there could be many. Enter username, enter password, click on login, and these are the exact numbered actions that you will be performing to test a specific scenario. They should be specific enough so that if you give this test case to anyone in the team, they should be able to follow them. Then we have the expected result, like login successful, dashboard shown. So this is about what should happen if the software works correctly. And this is your pass or fail benchmark. Then comes the actual result. It is either pass or fail. So this is generally filled during execution. What actually happened? If the actual is matching the expected, then it is a pass. If not, it's a fail. And then you raise a defect. So there is a golden rule. A good test case is so clear that any tester, even a brand new joiner who's never seen the app, can execute it and get a consistent result. Being specific in a test case is everything, and that can make you win when you're actually trying to get a streamlined team. Also, I would want you to connect that when the actual result is a fail, that's where module 5's defect and module 6 defect life cycle kicks in. It all connects here. You might wonder, why bother with all this paperwork? Why not just test? And the reasons that you see on the screen are why documentation is what makes testing professional. Repeatability. Documented test cases can be rerun by anyone, anytime, and it will give consistent results. Testing does not live in one person's head. If you are on leave, a colleague can run your test. Then coverage and traceability. So these documents, they let you prove every requirement that has been tested via the traceability matrix from our module 3. So no gaps, no untested features slipping through. Then onboarding. Whenever there's a new team member, a new tester joining in, well-written test cases and plans can get them productive in days and not weeks. The documents are the knowledge transfer mechanism. And finally, audit and evidence. So in regulated industries like finance, healthcare, documented tests are legal proof that quality checks were performed. Even outside regulation, they are evidence for the clients and management that the work was done properly. So if you look at the big picture, ad hoc testing is just poking around and it has its place. It's also called exploratory testing. But professional QA is built on documentation. It's the difference between I tested it and here's what exactly I've tested, how, and the results for it. And it can save you a lot of hassle whenever there's some issue coming up, if there's some new joinee coming in, if someone leaves the team. So it makes things very easy for transition and communication. So that's a wrap of the series. We talked about test plan, how it's strategic, and talks about the scope, objectives, schedule, resources, and risks. Then we looked at the template of the test case, how we can give it a tactical ID, title, precondition steps, the expected and the actual result. Documentation gives repeatability, coverage, onboarding, and audit evidence. So if you have followed all the 10 modules, take a moment. You now have a genuinely solid foundation in manual software testing. You understand the principles, the life cycles, the terminology, how the defects flow, how we classify them, the types of testing, how modern agile teams work, and the documents that hold it all together. And that is exactly the knowledge base interviewers expect from a junior QA professional. From here, the series will go hands-on. We'll talk more about the different design techniques, test design techniques, the metrics, and some fundamentals for automation going forward. Like, subscribe, and share this series with anyone starting their QA journey. Comment which module helped you the most, and do feel free to tell me what you would want me to cover next. Thank you for going through these foundations with me. Keep learning, keep testing, and I'll see you in the upcoming modules. Thank you.